I'm Ellen Cross. I'm an art restorer at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. This story is about my last trip. It all started a few weeks ago, when a significant part of Professor Vanbury's valuable collection sank during a storm off the British coast.
Ellen, remember the shipwreck that killed Professor Vanbury and sank 15 paintings from his collection? The ones he was supposed to hand down to us?
Of course.
Well, apparently one of the paintings resurfaced in Budapest in an auction catalog. I want you to go there to check its authenticity.
The Turner painting was the original, without a shadow of a doubt. That news gave me hope the other paintings might still be around. But it didn't make me forget that my days are numbered. I've always had an incurable orphan disease. There was only one drug available that was keeping me alive. I had just learned that the production of this drug had been discontinued.
I think that you should come to our treatment center.
There's no way I'm doing that. I've lived my whole life with this illness that's destroying my blood. I know what's in store for me. Anemia, fatigue, dizziness, nightmares, hallucinations, and a lot more. But I want to have a normal life until the very end.
I understand. Take this drug pack. It's my last one. If you change your mind, just tell me.
So, living on borrowed time, I went off to Europe to follow the trail of the other missing paintings. I met Adam Stoker in Whitby, a charming man who revealed the existence of a 16th century painting. A painting of Dracula that had never been exhibited. Vanbury wanted to bequeath it to our museum. My pursuit of the painting led me all the way to Istanbul, to someone named Yannick. Yannick is an art forger and occasional murderer. In Yannick's workshop, I spotted a case. I'm convinced that the famous portrait is in this case. Is this latest nightmare due to my illness? Maybe I'm just too absorbed by my work, or by my encounter with Adam. In any case, I'll still have to wait a few more hours. I have to get back to New York and the Metropolitan Museum. Then I'll finally see what the mysterious portrait looks like. I requested that the case be delivered from the airport. I hope it's arrived safely. The door security system has changed. I don't have the magnetic card to access the restoration workshop.
Come in! Hello, Ellen. Welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips.
Apparently you found the Vanbury collection's last painting.
I haven't opened the case yet, but I do hope that it is indeed inside.
Me too. But you're right. It's better to be cautious. In any case, I'd first like to thank you for your fabulous work.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips.
The case is waiting for you in the workshop. The delivery man dropped it off less than a half hour ago. Start working. Don't forget to inform me immediately of any new developments.
I think that Yannick was commissioned to disguise some of the Vanbury collection paintings. At the Budapest police station, I listened to a recording of Friedland, the man who committed suicide in his prison cell. He mentioned a painter who had to go back to work. I'm sure he was referring to Yannick.
You're probably right. But that doesn't tell us anything about who he was working for.
I still have hope that we'll find that out.
I see that your trip to Europe has made you enthusiastic about field and investigation work.
Exactly. Investigation is kind of like restoration. Well, once you clean up all the layers that make a painting illegible and remove the varnish, the painting's truth comes to light, like the answer to a riddle.
You're a poet, Ellen. You're a woman of many talents. But you should rest now. You don't look so good.
It's probably because of jet lag. Do you have information on the identity of the dead man that I found at Yannick's place?
I can't say I do. When the police arrived, they didn't find any corpse or stolen painting.
That's just not possible.
Yannick must have realized that you went through his workshop and cleaned things up after your departure.
You've changed the workshop security system, haven't you?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you. The code lock system wasn't reliable anymore. Here's your card. If you ever lose it, immediately inform me. We can remotely deactivate it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Phillips.
Ellen! So, you've come back with some treasure.
Hello, Jerry. I don't know what's in the case yet, but it just might be a portrait of Vlad the Impaler.
Let's find out now. The package is waiting for you over there. We've unlocked the security system. I'll give you the honor of opening it.
Thanks, Jerry.
It's the least I could do. You worked really hard to find it. By the way, Adam Stoker tried to call you several times.
Really?
He's in New York for a few days. I think he really wanted to hear from you. I told him you were coming back today, so he might call back.
Great. Thanks for the package you sent me in Istanbul.
You're most welcome. And how are you doing, anyway? I hope you're not too tired from your trip.
I'm tired, but I think it was good for me to have a change of scenery. The worst thing would have been to just stay here and wait for the end.
You haven't told the director about it yet?
He'll know about it soon enough. Without my drugs, my condition will quickly deteriorate. I won't be able to keep the secret for long. As soon as he realizes this, I can kiss the European trips goodbye. I'll be stuck with trivial missions. You've met Professor Vanbury, haven't you?
Yes, about 20 years ago.
What was he like?
Lively and passionate. Just your regular art collector.
I can't understand why he was so obsessed about vampires.
It's not really about vampires in general, but about this painting in particular. He was obsessed with it. Who knows? After we see the painting, maybe we'll finally understand.
Have you already heard of Kenayek?
Never heard of him. I've done some research, but I haven't found any reproductions of his work. But I must say that a lot of painters, even very talented ones, don't leave their mark on history.
And how did you find out about the Yannick connection?
The director's secretary gave me the idea to do some genealogical research. I think it's one of her hobbies. It was a great idea.
I can't believe it. The painting's been vandalized. Look, there's a black cross on it.
You said that it seemed like Professor Vanbury was scared of the portrait, didn't you?
Yes, but he was an art collector. I don't think he would have destroyed it.
In some parts of Eastern Europe in the Middle Ages, people believed that painting a tar cross on a door could prevent vampires from coming into the house. So maybe he painted the cross to protect himself.
Tar?
We'll have to send a sample to the lab to check, but it certainly does look like tar.
While I'm waiting for the lab results, I could see if an infrared analysis might reveal something. How did you find out about this cross custom?
Oh, the director told me you were coming back with a painting that was surely of Vlad Tepes' portrait. I just couldn't help but research his life and the legends surrounding him. I found this story in a very interesting book, an unpublished biography of Vlad. You should look at it when you have time.
This must be the Vlad Tepes book Jerry was talking about. I'll take a look at it later. The monitor's off. I won't be able to see anything. The image isn't very clear, but it does look like some kind of portrait. The painter must have made several sketches. I can also make out an animal as well as some clouds or smoke. The infrared camera reveals several sketches. It looks like a portrait, but there are also other contours.
Great. Now we know that there is something under this dark cross. I won't be here tomorrow, but you'll handle taking the dating samples. I think that the dating will confirm that Kanayek could be behind them. If I'm right, it's a type of tar. If so, you should be able to remove it as early as today. Well, the lab results have come back.
So this is what Dracula looked like. Or Vlad Tepes, rather. Painting looks alive. I've never seen anything like it. The painting's getting darker. How strange. The image isn't very clear, but it does look like... That's not necessary anymore. I'm starting to understand why Vanbury was fascinated with this portrait. He looks alive, like he's watching us.
You're right. It's gripping. Apart from perhaps Mona Lisa's smile, I've rarely seen such a disturbing expression on a painting. It looks like the varnish is darkening.
Right, I noticed that too. Do you think I shouldn't have removed the tar layer?
No, that can happen when the finishing layer hasn't been exposed to light for a while. I don't think that the painting will darken too much.
The shadow of the dragon.
What did you say?
Nothing special. Vlad Tepes was called Dracula and the dragon. So I was thinking that if this is really a portrait of him, well, we've literally seen the shadow of the dragon.
That's funny. One of the books I was reading had an excerpt of a poem of the same name. Vlad's younger brother wrote it.
Really? Can I look at it?
Of course. It's on my desk. I'll leave it there for you. But maybe you should put the painting in the storage room. You shouldn't do too much with it on the first day.
Right, I'll do that.
As for me, I'm going home. And I really want to congratulate you. If all of Kanayek's paintings are this good, you might have discovered a new Da Vinci.
I don't feel good. I didn't take my medicine because I forget to with the jet lag. Metropolitan Museum of Art, Restoration Workshop. Ellen Cross speaking.
Ellen, it's Adam. You're finally back.
Yes. Hello, Adam. I heard you were in New York. Is that right?
Just for a few days. I was afraid I wouldn't catch you. If you're free for dinner this evening, maybe you could tell me about your trip to Turkey.
Well, yes. I do have a few things to do, but sure, why not?
I can pick you up at the museum. In an hour?
Sure. The director isn't there. Vlad Basarab III, known as Tepes, the Impaler, was the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula character. But few people know his real story. Tepes was the son of Vlad II, known as Dracula, the dragon. Tepes was the heir to the Wallachian throne. He spent his childhood in Turkey, where Sultan Murad II held both him and his younger brother Radu hostage. It is said that Radu was the Sultan's favorite. Vlad was released in 1448, 14 years before his younger brother. This is probably why Radu the Handsome deeply resented his older brother throughout his whole life. People even say that Radu drove Vlad's beloved wife to suicide. Radu made her think that her husband had died. He gave her the dagger with which she killed herself. The prince never recovered from this tragedy. As legend has it, that was when he plunged into the netherworld. This book has a copy of a letter from Radu. The letter shows the rivalry that pitted these two men against each other. Radu also wrote a poem called The Shadow of the Dragon. It seems that this poem was meant for his brother.
So happy to see you, Ellen.
Me too.
So you ended up finding the portrait? Tell me about it. How did you do that?
It's a long story, and it was in terrible condition. Professor Vanbury had covered it with tar. I'm still cleaning it up, but I'm making headway.
I'm sure that you'll be able to restore it to its original glory.
I hope so, but it looks fragile. The glaze has become slightly darker ever since it's been exposed to the open air.
Do you think the process can be reversed?
I think so, but it'll take some time. Well, if you can keep it a secret, I can show it to you.
Oh yes, I'd love to. I didn't dare ask. Cross my heart. I'll be as silent as the grave.
Good. Let's go then. Attention, please. Adam, please meet Dracula.
Ellen, are you all right? Are you all right? Do you feel better?
Yes. What happened?
You fainted at the museum. Don't you remember? I wanted to call the paramedics, but you said it should be fine. You just wanted to go back home. So I called a taxi, and here we are. Are you sure you don't want me to call for a doctor? Something's wrong.
No, don't worry. I don't need a doctor. You did the right thing. I actually need a drink. I think I have a bottle of wine.
Ellen, I'm not sure it's a good idea. Just look at you. You can hardly stand up.
I'm tired of being reasonable, Adam. Adam? Adam? Are you there? That couldn't have been a dream.
Ellen, I couldn't bring myself to wake you up. I'm going back to London this morning, but I'll call you very soon. Take care of yourself. Lots of love, Adam.
So it wasn't a dream, even though he did vanish into thin air pretty quickly. I should take advantage of this to finish restoring the portrait. Who knows, maybe I'll take a few days off in Europe. Oh, I must have some medicine somewhere. I should figure out where I put it. I could faint again. Well, it's not much, but it could keep me from losing consciousness again. I can't believe it. The painting's gone. There hasn't been a break-in. There must be an explanation. This video camera automatically turns on whenever anyone comes into the storage room. I'll have to look at the video to understand what could have happened. Believe it. How could he have done that to me? If someone sees this recording, they'll think I'm his accomplice. I really have to find Adam and recover the portrait before anyone notices it's missing. Jerry won't be back till tomorrow, so there's a chance I won't have to finish off my days in prison. Jerry must have forgotten his mailbox key. Jerry must have forgotten his mailbox. If I report the robbery, I'll probably go to jail. And I don't have any way of calling Adam for an explanation. The director isn't there. I'm not expecting any mail. I can't leave this video surveillance cassette here, otherwise I'll definitely be accused of being an accomplice.
You've reached Jerry Borofsky's answering machine. Please leave me a message. I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Jerry, it's Marlene from the library. I'm worried. After your call yesterday afternoon, I followed up on your research request. I sent you a copy of the original parchment of the poem. A few hours later, a government official came to see me. I couldn't make out which department he was from, but as we both know, some documents are under surveillance. He wanted to know why I had looked up these documents. He looked shady, so I didn't mention you to him. I told him I was just curious. But I get the impression that he won't stop there. If he's really who he says he is, he'll realize pretty soon that I lied to him. I might be paranoid, but this guy really worried me. Be careful.
What on earth is happening here? The portrait was stolen? A government official is interested in a poem from several centuries ago? I hope that Jerry won't be upset with me, but I've got to take a look at this document. Anyway, I really have nothing to lose now.
Jerry, you owe me dinner. I had to move mountains to find the poem. The shadow of the dragon doesn't show up in any document in our library, but the Order of the Dragon often comes up. It's a brotherhood of aristocrats that the famous Vlad Tepes supposedly belonged to. But no shadow of a shadow in our records, if I may say so. However, I actually did find it in the end, in the Library of Congress database. It was scanned recently. This poem is really nothing special. To tell you the truth, it reads more like a quest for a treasure than like real literature. The poem doesn't revolve around any idea or story. It seems to show the various stages of an initiation journey to find the shadow of the dragon's hiding place. Who knows? Maybe the little brother wanted to set up his own secret order. See you soon. Marlene.
If I don't find the painting quickly, I might end up in prison. There might be a connection between the Dracula portrait and the poem. A few months ago, Jerry gave me a copy of the database prototype he wanted to fine-tune for the museum. If I want to use it to decipher Radu's verses, it's now or never. Yerebatan, the Basilica Cistern of Istanbul. That's the engulfed basilica that Radu's poem talks about. If Marlene's hypothesis turns out to be right, a secret order called the Shadow of the Dragon has hidden its headquarters there.
You should have already left your place, Ellen.
I beg your pardon?
You're not safe. Your friend Jerry was found dead in his apartment.
What?
They're following you, and I'm not talking about the police.
But who the heck are you?
Let's say I'm a friend of a friend. Apparently you've done excellent work on his portrait. We know that it slipped through your fingers, but if you recover it and bring it to him, he'll be most grateful.
You're nuts!
It is fascinating, isn't it? But believe me, the model is even more fascinating.
You mean Dracula?
You shouldn't waste your time asking pointless questions. I've left a package in front of your door. Take it, and don't stick around.
But where on earth do you want me to go?
Follow your instinct, Ellen. I'm sure that you'll find your way.
I need to contact Jerry. It can't be true.
Hello?
Hello, Jerry. It's Ellen.
Hello. Mr. Borowski won't be able to speak with you.
Who are you?
The New York police. I have really sad news for you, Ms.
Cross. Ellen Cross. What are you talking about? How's Jerry doing?
Mr. Borowski has passed away. I'm sorry, Mrs. Cross.
I can't believe it. What happened to him?
I can't speak to you on the phone, but I'd like to meet you. I'll be expecting you at the police station tomorrow morning.
The woman who called must have been right. If Jerry died because of this stupid poem, I'm definitely in danger. I must go to Istanbul. and figure out what the Basilica cistern is hiding that's so valuable. Forged ID. Just what I needed to leave the country without attracting attention. How did this woman know that I could have needed papers? And how did she get a hold of my photo? Either I have a guardian angel or someone's just using me.